I am back today with one of the nicest high-value jack-of-all-trades rifle scopes I've taken a look at in a very long time. This is the brand new Primary Arms Compact PLxC 1-8 first focal plane rifle scope with the illuminated ACSS Raptor M8 reticle system. It's calibrated for 5.56 and 308, and it does everything a scope should do for a jack-of-all-trades rifle scope, whether it be CQB or distance shooting. I've got it mounted up in this PLX offset mount, and it mates up perfectly on top of this Palmetto State Armory M10A1, and it's really the perfect battle rifle setup in my opinion, and I just did a full overview of this rifle, so definitely sub the channel, check that out, and go through a lot of the backlogs of the video. Before we get too far into it, I want to give you some info where you can find some of the best deals, not only on PSA stuff, but on the Primary Arms stuff as well. And all of that info is over on my campsite page. My campsite page will be in the description below, as well as my Instagram and Patreon. And that's the best place to find daily deals, because not only does Primary Arms do a lot of their own in-house lineup of optics and mounts, they also sell a wide variety of other things, and there's a lot of deals going on every single week, including some going on right now, so definitely check out the campsite page. But enough about that. Let's get into this scope. Now, it really puts everything you would want into a nice compact package, and that's one of the first things I want to discuss is the fact that it is very compact. It's not going to be overly heavy and weigh you down, and it's not going to be massive. It's going to fit perfectly on top of a flat top AR and give you all the space you need if you wanted to add extras on top of that rifle, whether it be something like an offset, maybe red dot, or even some IR devices and things like that on the front of the rail system. The next thing I want to mention is it mates up perfectly in this mount, and the fit and finish is absolutely spectacular. When you pull this out of the box, you feel like you're holding a $2,000 or $3,000 rifle scope, but the MSRP on this guy is right at about $1,500. So it's not the cheapest optic in the world, but it's definitely not the most expensive. And when you're talking about this optic, it truly is competing with some of the premium top tier optics on the market. And that really is evident in the fit and finish of this optic. Now, this is a 30mm tube, so a lot of the 30mm mounts that you already have will work perfectly and seamlessly with this optic. Now, moving along to the actual controls and interface with the user, the turrets themselves are capped, but inside the box, you actually get the option to choose an exposed turret that you can swap out, making that really convenient for the top turret. That's pretty slick. Now, because of the ACSS reticle, which we're going to look at in a minute, I'm really going to set and forget this kind of scope, and I'm not really going to play with a lot of the adjustments in the field, depending on the distance you're shooting. I'm going to use the reticle itself to do all of the work, which is incredibly convenient. Again, we'll be taking a look at that more in depth in the reticle and glass clarity section of this video. Now, this does have an illumination setting on the side, and it's not necessarily like super daytime bright, but it is very bright and bright enough for personal defense inside your home in dusk and twilight shooting applications. It has an on and off position in between each of the settings, and since this is a first focal plane scope, as you zoom in and out, the reticle gets larger and smaller, but it's still very usable at the 1 power setting, especially with the illumination setting for hunting applications and personal defense applications in your home, especially with the 1 power setting being a true 1 power setting. You can keep both eyes open and use this as a red dot. This also has the auto live motion sense technology, so it automatically turns it on, similar to like the shake awakes and stuff you're familiar with on a red dot, meaning you can leave this at the 1 power setting, turned up to the brightest setting on the illumination. It goes into a sleep mode, and when you pick it up to defend yourself with inside your home or CQB applications, it automatically turns on, so you don't have to fumble with the knob, which is a key feature, making it again a perfect jack of all trades rifle scope. This functions very similar to a red dot in almost every application up close inside your home, personal defense, or dusk or twilight shooting. Also, in the daytime, when you have both eyes open in bright sunny days, you can actually use the etched black reticle as a red dot feel with both eyes open and engage your target with ease, so that is a nice touch. The zoom limiter on this is great. It's actually built right in, and it also has some coin edge knurling on here, allowing you to grab and flip with ease. This is the perfect balance of tension and smoothness in this zoom lever, allowing you to just really maybe scan across a field at the 1 or 2 power setting. Maybe you're tracking a coyote or a hog. You want to zoom in. You want to take that shot. It's super simple, and I love that zoom lever and everything. Again, the fit and finish, you are just getting. It doesn't come through on camera. A spectacular look and feel. It also has the nice adjustable diopter with that coin edge bezel again, and everything about the function and practicality optic is great. Now let's talk about that eye box, eye relief, before we move over to the reticle itself. Now, when we are talking about a jack of all trades rifle scope, we need a good eye box and eye relief, especially when you consider how small this optic is. That could be a con, but they nailed it. I'm not sure how they nailed it with it being so small, but it works out great. It's got a lot of wiggle room, left, right, up, and down, and it's incredibly forgiving with that eye box. Again, making it great for CQB applications, shooting up close or shooting at a distance. Also, if you're in a deer stand or in a blind, or you're kind of shooting around corners or in and around a vehicle, you may not get a proper cheek weld on the gun, but again, this is very forgiving. The glass clarity is absolutely amazing, especially when you consider the price and what this is competing with, along with the size. I was shooting at about 200 yards, but looking through the optic at 1,000 yards, and this was incredibly clear. I can't stress that enough. One of the clearest optics I've looked through in a while, especially in LPVO. A lot of times you'll expect that on like a 34 millimeter tube with an incredibly long or wide objective lens. But this does all of that in a small and compact design. Primary Arms is just killing it when it comes to that. Now, let's talk about that reticle system, because that's where this kind of culminates and brings everything together. Now, because this is a first focal plane optic, you get two extremes, and a lot of times it's very difficult for a first focal plane optic to accomplish both great CQB shooting as well as distance shooting, but this one nails it. This one has large leader duplex lines going into that center dot, and you can see it's very visible at the 1 power setting, on paper, and on the intro. It just works. It's easy to pick up, both eyes open, no edge distortion, no fisheye effect. It just works great. Then when you zoom in, it is packed full of a ton of information with that chevron infinity aiming point, which is absolutely perfect for distance shooting. I've been taking this out in the field for about 5 or 6 different range trips, putting a lot of rounds through it in different positions and different just overall kind of places to shoot it at, and it's been working great. Now, this also gives you a ton of information, including ranging tools built into a ton of different positions, whether it be shoulder width or height. It packs all of that in with their auto ranging technology just built into the reticle system, and this instruction manual explains everything perfect. It really details out exactly what you need to know, and then it allows you with the bullet drop compensation built into the reticle itself, whether you're using 5.56 or 308, to take your shots, even with a lot of the windage information, and it gives you a chart that you could actually fold up or laminate and take with you, which is pretty darn cool. It also gives you a lot of those moving target holds as well as windage holds, and all of that information is again neatly displayed in the instruction manual that's included in the box or online. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope it gives you another option, not necessarily for a budget scope, but a high value option that can do pretty much everything you need from 1 to 1,000 yards. Again, all of the information and a lot of the special deals on the optics or the rifle itself can be found. A lot of that info can be found on the campsite page. And again, that info is also in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. And thanks to Primary Arms for sending this out at my request, specifically for this build. This was a great high value pair between the optic, mount, and rifle. And this is going into like the keep forever collection. This is what I would grab right now if you asked me if I needed to pick up a 308 rifle to defend my life with. This is the one I'm selecting. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.